Expanders help you to quantum jump your personal and professional life. And it might be wise to keep them in your inner circle, but also with your internet besties. In today's episode, you're going to understand why you need expanders and how to attract and find them, and so much more. So let's get into it. So let's look into the psychology of expanders first. So expanders, at least to me, is a way of almost another person showing you what's possible in terms of what's possible as an embodiment of a future version of yourself. Expanders can also be people who are showing the way towards a more expansive mindset. It might be another type of perspective, how they get to live their life, how they choose to live their life. And it's also usually people who help you to shift easier and shift quicker. These are the people who really spark something within you. You know, when you feel almost like the mic is dropping inside of yourself and you're receiving this kind of insights, revelations, reliefs, or whatever it is, that is a good indication of that might be someone who's really expanding you and unlocking and activate something within you. According to me, an expander is also someone who help you to tap into more of your true and authentic self and expression. The things that you do not want, but you do have in your environment is already manifested, right? There's already something that you have. So we don't need to necessarily feed into more of that energy. But many times what we do is that we focus on what we don't have, what we are lacking, the resources we don't have to do a certain type of change or whatever it is, right? And we can be kind of in this kind of limited self in one way or another. And what we do is that we are focusing more at the situation. We're asking ourselves, where do I have my blocks? Why do I experience this right now? How can I get out of this situation? But what I understand about my own journey is that it's not about counting the 112 reason what I experienced in my childhood that makes me think in the way that I do now that have helped me to shift the most. It isn't about knowing one more block that I might be having within that helps me to change. Of course, that is a huge chunk. It's like a huge chunk of relief, and also it gains us awareness and clarity. And it help you, of course, to realize certain patterns or certain waves behavior in your life. So I'm not saying that it's totally like nothing we should look at, but what I do say is when I have shifted and changed the most is when I have looked at life in an expansive way. And that leads us to expanders. It's when I have been desiring a certain type of vibration, when I have been fully like embodying a certain type of feeling, when I have been moving towards and moving through with a sense of fulfillment, with a sense of happiness, with a sense of peace and ease and so forth. There is where I have made the biggest change and shifts in my own personal growth. And that's why I believe that expanders really are a quantum leap for you. So when it comes to attracting expanders, I truly believe that we should have at least a set of, if not almost all, in our inner circle that are our expanders. And in addition to that, our internet besties. The people that we may not know so much, but we are interacting with them on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis, and so forth, where we really feel connected. We feel that we are resonating with that person, but the person may have a little bit more elevated mindset than you have at this point, or show you the way in how you get to live your lifestyle or whatever. When it comes to our inner circle, I do believe that it is really important to look at those who are in our direct environment on very, very often or a lot. So, for instance, my partner is in my environment every single day, many hours a day. We share the same dreams, we share the same values, we share the same ways we want to live our lives, we share the same ways on what we want to eat, right? And it might be look different to you, but I'm giving this as an advice of that your partner or the ones that you live with or the ones that you're talking with on a day-to-day basis that affecting a lot in your life, and they are really really in your energy because they literally are there. You are conversating with each other, you are helping each other out, you're supporting each other, you are listening to each other, you give each other solutions, right? So all of this is important, and we also have conflict with these persons, right? It's really important for us to look into those who are in our closest cycle, that they are expansive to us. In order for you to attract and in order for you to find your expanders and have expanders in your inner circle, but also in your internet besties, is to go deep within what's important for you. First and foremost, what do you value the most? Let's say, as an example, I value a lot of spirituality, so to say, like personal growth, elevated consciousness, and so forth. A value that people have a bigger way of seeing to life, and that there is so much other energies in place than that we know of. And due to that, it's a big value of mine to evolve and grow spiritually and live a life where I practice spirituality on a day-to-day basis. So for me, having a partner who is not, and this doesn't have to be for you again, but it can be, but for me, having a partner who do not understand those concepts, who I can't have those conversations with and so forth, that was nothing that I was interested in when I searched for my life partner. I wanted a life partner that was even more so expanded in that mindset, who really could show me the way, how we really can be and feel into our own energies and understand all these different type of spiritual concepts and so forth, because that is that important for me. It's so important for me to live a life of gratitude. It's so important for me to live a life of expansion, live life to the fullest and so forth. So it was so important for me that my partner also felt the same and wanted the same kind of life from him for himself. So that is kind of a value. So look into what type of core values do I have, that I see that this is important, that in one way or another my I want the expansion in, because it can also be that you feel that I'm fine with just having my own, having it for myself, or I'm my own expander in this kind of area. That is totally okay. So you have to look into what are my core values, and is that something which I also want someone else is continuously elevating and helping me to grow in as well. And the next thing is then go deeper into the other things then, the things that, okay, it maybe isn't the most important in my kid or in my partner or whatever, right? But this is the most important for me with people that I interact with on a daily basis or often, or people that I listen to, or, those kind of things. Like, what's important for me then? What is it that I'm currently moving through that I can get help from someone else that can help me to shift and change quicker and easier? Then I would look at, okay, different type. It might be that you're going through a lifestyle change, for instance. Maybe that's what's important for you then, to find people who have or seem to like embody a certain type of mindset, so they are able to have a certain type of lifestyle, for instance, that is also resonating with you as well. One little thing I want to say about having expanders as your inner circle is also to look at how much is actually the person helping me to grow, and not just manifesting someone who can help you so that you don't need to take care of it yourself, so you don't need to look at your shadows, right? So an example of that is that I used to be drawn to partners that was feeding my own insecurities. In one very practical way, or how we can picture it, was that I used to feel that I wanted a lot of verbal kind of validation for how I looked, how I dressed, how I was as a person, how good I was to them. I needed this kind of validation of how they viewed me and what they liked about me. And that was actually only due to my own insecurities and due to my self-esteem. So in that time when I met my partner, my life partner that I have now, the change that I did during that moment was that I was done seeking external validation, and I was done not validating and really just be happy with what I like about myself and really owning that. So during that time and in the very beginning when we met, I noticed that he was not that verbally validating as I was used to. So I asked him with curiosity, and we had a very good conversation about it. That's between us two, but it was very, very beautiful in conversation. And he made me realize that, we don't always need to tell the other person. We have to be able to also feel it. And when I understood that, I really tuned into his energy. And that was the first time I felt an immense amount of love. I'm getting emotional now because I still feel, or I feel it on a daily basis, because nowadays I always tap into his energy. And I feel so much love from him, so much love from him. So I don't need that validation. That is enough for me. I feel it everywhere. And due to that, instead of him, he could have said that, oh, okay, you have this kind of thing that you feel that you want to be get compliments for your looks, or get compliments for why I like you. Okay, great, I will do that more. That would only feed into my insecurities, the very insecurities that I needed to look at, the very insecurities that was my shadows and wasn't helping me, right? Instead, he showed me another way. He showed me an elevated way where I really learned how to feel into people's energies. And this I used to other areas as well. I used to be very not confident when it came to friends and meeting new friends and stuff like that, and also feeling like, do they like me? Am I too much? And now I'm sidetracking a little bit, but just to conclude this, when I learned to tap into their energy as well and really feel into, I felt also if it was a great relationship, and if we were equally liking each other and so forth, right? So this is a way how we can actually see that we have expanders and not. I just want to bring up this conversation so that you are not like, I want someone who helped me to feel safer in myself or better in myself. It's not about that. That maybe be what you need to give yourself. And what you need is someone to show you another way. So that brings us to be your own expander, and also look up for the shiny object syndrome. You and yourself, you're expansive as a person, and you can totally expand within yourself, but you're also your own limitation. As long as we are in our human bodies, I do believe that we're also limiting ourselves because we don't have that kind of mindset yet, or haven't really evolved. We are used to a certain type of way of being or doing and so forth, right? So when we have some certain type of limitation or whatever, it might be easy to look at another person and see that it seems so easy for this person. Or how come this person is so far ahead and we're at the same age? Or it seems like this person just started to make this change for a year ago while I've been doing this for 20 years, right? We're starting to compare ourselves, and vibrationally it doesn't feel good. But it can also be in the way that we're just like, this person is so awesome, it's so awesome, and wow, I wish I could be that wise. So that brings us to a state of comparison, and that brings us to a state of not liking ourselves, and just unnecessary comparison, I would say. So instead, we have to see that we are our own expanders as well, and what we see in others is what we seek to expand within. But it's not so easy as in, oh, I love her energy, so I want that energy. I want to be as energized as her. This is an indication of that, oh, I love her energy, so there is something within my own energy where I seek to authentically express myself more, where I seek to find out more about my authentic energetic signature and live out that more. And that might be very similar to hers or very different, but not just looking at, okay, she looks energized, so that is what I'm drawn to. Look deeper into, okay, what is it that I'm actually getting inspired by here? If you see that guy who is showing a way of living, he's surfing all the days, and you're like, this dude is so chill. I also want that kind of life. I want to learn everything about surfing. It might just be that the way that he understands how he can create freedom from himself, that is what you do feel within. That is what you also want to explore even more within self. Or that girl who has like the perfect outfit, you love her outfit, you want to dress like her, or you want to change the whole wardrobe. Maybe it's just like how she is expressing herself through clothes, how she like express herself, right? It's about that. Okay, is there something within me that I'm not expressing fully, and something within my own signature which I want to express more? So this is always like a mirroring effect where we see the kind of inspiration that we see in these expanders, but at the same time understanding that you do not need to compare yourself with that person, and it's not always that obvious. It's not always like, I want exact the same morning routine as this person. It might just be the way that that person show up for herself in the mornings. It can be very similar as well. Absolutely. That happens to me often. But I just want to make this kind of a little bit easier for you to understand what expanders really are about. So here I want you to take action on and ask yourself, or at least I recommend you to ask yourself, where's the inspiration? What's the lust I'm feeling when I'm looking at this person, when I'm following this person, or when I want to be best friend with this person? What is my desire here? What is it that I want to embody? And how can I become my own expander in this? And this really helps us to not put this kind of person on a pedestal once again. The last part of this episode today, I want to talk to you about how you can find your expanders. How do you find them? First and foremost, you have to set the intention for it. Okay, you have to put out the focus, the intention on, right now I'm going through this shift and I want an expander. I want someone who to show me the way. I want someone where we can rise together, all of that. And the next thing you can look at is, in what areas do I want this expander in? Is this an expander that is kind of very huge and big for living out my lifetime purpose? Then it might be someone that you also require desire in your inner circle. Or is there someone who will help me on a weekly basis getting into the right mindset? Then it might be another type of friend, or it might be an internet bestie once again, right? So look into what type of areas and how important is this for me, how much do I want out of it, and so forth, right? So have a little bit look in that, like, is there a lifestyle change I want to make? Is there some certain type of habits I want to break? Is there that I want to evolve and grow as a person in general? Is it that I want to build a relationship with me more? What is it about? Like, what area in my life do I want an expander in? And if it feels like a little bit difficult, just write out like, I want an expander to help me to get in shape. I want an expander to help me to, be a little bit like that, to help the mind out. And then you can back a couple of steps and just like, okay, but what does this mean to me? Why do I want to get in shape? Well, I do want to feel energized and strong in my body every single day. Okay, great. So we're really like also looking into the deeper purpose of it. A great thing to ask, just to double check that this is actually someone who is your expander, not just someone who, they seem to have a certain type of end result, which I want, but, sometimes we can get drawn to that and then we don't understand that, but I'm not resonating so much with how they're acting or what they really believe in, what concepts they are talking about. So the best way for us to know that it is an expander is just that, to feel into, does it feels expansive to me? When this person talks, I do feel elevated, I do feel uplifted, I do feel, what type of feelings do I feel? Do I feel these feelings of expansiveness? When this person talks, do I feel activated? Do I feel that something moves through me? I actually going through certain type of shifts, for instance. That is also a good indication for that might be your expander. So have that as a double check question to yourself. Does this person feel expansive to me? So the next thing, we have two more things. The next thing is to acknowledge that you are your own expander as well. And how you do that is to, and this is in order for you to attract this kind of person as well, right? So you are in the right vibes and energies. That is to ask yourself, how can I be more like this, like I want the embodiment that I want, right? What type of feelings is that I want to have more of? What actions do I need to take? So write it down, write all these things out, how you're going to take action of actually being, doing, thinking, feeling as a certain type of version or a certain type of person or a certain type of person who have a certain type of lifestyle, right? Because the more that you do that, and that the more that you clear your own energy channels, the easier you will attract your expander into your life, because you will start to resonating at the same frequency, so that person can actually be shown and seen in your life, so to say. You're able to open up and receive towards that. That has happened to me many times, when I'm noticing that I'm taking some certain type of inspired action towards a change I want in something. Suddenly someone pops up on YouTube, for instance, and just like, wow, this person is truly really like, wow, it moves me, right? And it has exactly the thoughts that I feel, that this is something that I desire even more of. And the last thing, I think we covered it a little bit, but that is to really go into the purpose, to your why. Why do you want this expander in your life? And this once again helps you to also, not just look at people and see that they seem to have this really great figure out for themselves. So I want like they have, and I'm going to take in and listen to everything that they say. I think that you are very much more discernment than that, of course. But sometimes it can be easy for us to hear something, someone is like talking about something and it sounds really great, right? And then we start to apply it for ourselves and we realize that that is not according to how I function as a person or whatever it is. So if we can spare ourselves that, and also spare ourselves the kind of judgment to ourselves that, okay, why don't we have this? Why are we not able to have this, and so forth? It's good to really dig deep into the why. Why do I want this? Because that also help you, of course, to understand in what way do I want this expander for myself as well. I truly believe that we rise together, and that's why expanders are so good to us, because we can really tap into a future version of ourselves and see that is already embodied, already tangible, already seen. Someone is just showing us the way. And in some certain parts in life, we are the one who's showing ourselves the way and showing others that way. In some parts of us, we feel that we want to be shown, okay? So I think that is like a beautiful kind of exchange that we do, humans together. Let me know what you're thinking, and let me know. You can totally write, what you want your expander in right now. That will help you to set out the intention, but that will also be really, really fun for all of us that's listening to this to read. So if you are on YouTube, write it down, like write in the comments like, I want an expander right now for my lifestyle, or I want my expander right now for becoming more confident, or whatever it is, right? Take good care of yourself and keep on listening to your within talks. Bye.